in India. Isn't that interesting? None of them are, in the Middle East. The number of Muslims in Indonesia alone is 175 million. And that exceeds the combined total in Egypt, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Iran. The traditional heartlands of Islam. That's how it has spread. Obviously, more and more, a considerable number of Islamic people have migrated to Europe, and there are problems involved with that, but they have. There's a culture clash, there's a religious clash going on. And they mentioned that in the 1970s and 1980s, Islam reemerged as a political force. If you will, in our lifespan, it has been a growing religion. It's been problematic, but it's been on the move and it's growing. It is considered the fastest growing religion in the world. I think a lot of it has to do with how big their families are. All through the Western world, also in Japan, Europe, the United States, Russia, we have a problem repopulating our own countries with our own people. Meaning our birth rate's not high enough to sustain our numbers. And so groups that come in that think, 10, 12 children is just fine, quickly surpass in numbers, become significant with groups that think, well, you had one, maybe you should venture out and have two. And so this is a problem all over Europe. It's a problem in the United States. It's a problem in Japan. It's a problem with a thing called Social Security. You're supposed to have all these people at the bottom. Those are called babies. You have to have them. And if you don't have enough people paying at the bottom for you to retire at the top. That's us, one of us folks. Look at all of you get close to there doing that thing, eh? Have some more kids. I want my Social Security check. No, it's true. And of course, then if you abort 1.2 million children every year, which you do in the United States, you ruin Social Security, along with 1.2 million children. Yeah, it's a fact. It's crazy. The liberal agenda is against itself. It opposes itself. It wants Social Security, but it wants to kill babies. And you need babies for Social Security. Anyways, I'll get too political there. Oh. Would it surprise you that murder is not a good policy? And what's the shocker? Anyways. Okay, now. I'll remind us, this is the Muslim idea of God. God is unique and without equal. They attempt to think and talk about God without either making him into a thing or a projection of a human self. The Quran avoids this by constantly shifting pronouns to discourage believers from inadvertently reifying God and creating any physical image of him. God is so transcendent, I can't even imagine, well, we say God is a spirit, so we're going to sense the Father, but not see the Father. But the Son we will see. We will see the image of God in Jesus Christ. This is different. And no, you want Jesus to be your personal Savior? There's nothing personal about Allah. He is distant and unknowable. So it's a very foreign concept, our idea of a relationship with Christ. So, I don't need to go on here what I need to do. We did the 5 pillars. Let's see. I can go through these. I think we've talked about it. You don't need to know a lot about them. It's a very simple religion. It's practice, actually. So, I reminded the 2 foundations, the Muslim faith, are God's revelation to Muhammad, known as the Quran, and then Muhammad's life and deeds, which are in the Hadith. That's their foundation. Okay. Here's a Muslim prayer, which you don't really need right now. Okay. Let's see. I know what I want to go to. I mentioned this about, we are called by Muslims at some time, especially moderate Muslims, people of the book. The Jews and Christians believe in holy writing. Since Jesus is a prophet, then the things that he said is from the book. And if Abraham is a prophet, then the things that he said are in the book. So the people of the book are considered Jews and Christians. And there are verses in the Quran that look at them as, you know, they believe in one God, like us. They're, in a sense, our brothers. But they haven't been enlightened to the final revelation. That's considered. Muhammad is the final prophet and the full revelation of God. Anyways. So, see, and just you can remember about 1.2 billion Muslims on the earth today. Now, this writer here, and this is important to remember, Islamism is different from Islam. Islam is a religion with several branches, while Islamism is a religion and political movement within Islam, based on certain, and this is the key, literal interpretations of the Quran, strictly coming from their book. In particular, Islamism seeks to conform society. You see that Shari, is that how you say that law?
Sharia.
Sharia? You do say Sharia. You say both balls, okay. Sharia law, which means the Quran then is your basis for your laws and how you interpret them. And of course it is a religion of works. So in a sense, much like the law of Moses, you don't cut the grade, severe punishment upon you. That's how a works religion operates. So, the moral and religious system of law that comes from the Quran. That's what is, you say Sharia? Sharia, okay. Sharia defines a strict moral code for almost every aspect of society, personal life. Everything from trade regulations to personal hygiene. It interprets the word Islam, which means submission, quite literally. You have to submit to every rule and regulation of the Islamic faith. All right? And they enforce it strictly. Or die. That's the last thing said there. Now, this is an interesting comparison. Not every Muslim is an Islamist. In the same way that not every Christian is the member of the Westboro Baptist Church. There are Christians who are not fundamentalists. They don't take the Bible literally. They think within it are, you know, certain things that are God-inspired, but certain things are outdated and are culturally biased, and they pick and choose what they want. But if you take a Christian fundamentalist who lives by the Word of God as the Word of God, instead of being taught to kill their enemies, they're told to love their enemies, pray for their enemies, and turn the other cheek. So Christians are willing to die for their faith, and Islamists are taught to kill for their faith. This is why we have armies to protect us, folks. Anyways, so, an interesting difference in the two religions. Now, let's go on here. Oh. I think I put the teachings. Oh, went all the way back. I gotta figure out where I am. I hate that when it does that to me. All right, too far. Let's see. I go through it. I found my place again. You know what? Stop there. I'll find my place. You take your break. Believe it or not, it's 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.